All right, ladies and gentlemen, Fab's in the house. And today I've got the Leatherman Free P2 here with me. And as usual, we're going to analyze the look, the sound, and the feel of this guy. But first of all, let's just do a quick size comparison. This is up against your Leatherman Surge and up against the Leatherman Wave Plus. So two older generations Multitool, and this is up against Leatherman Free T4, same generation, pretty small. So in fact, this guy is like 4.2 inches long, like 10.8 centimeters roughly, and visually it's really looking good. I mean, it's shiny, it's nice, it's heavy, it feels great, like the first time you hold this guy. But let's have a look at the overall design and look. So this is an original design from Leatherman, made in Portland, US. And as you can see, there's like basically two straight lines running along the length of the multi-tool, and these like rounded edges on both sides. This is like less rounded than this one, but still, pretty, nicely and gently curved on the edges over here. Overall, this is like a gray looking multi-tool because there's no color. And the inside is just not colored in any way, but you have a couple finishes here. Like you see in these flats, you see it has like a little bit of a satin look, but in the outside and also on the inside over here has more like a shiny silver matte finish, which is nice. I mean, it's a pretty nice touch. Also, something interesting from the design point of view is that these sides where the clip is are like angled upward like this, whereas on this side are just like flush. All right, so this is an interesting choice because you're gonna have like the clip on this side, which is gonna look like a little bit crooked, but it's not. I mean, it's not bent. It's just this design. So the scales are made out of steel, and they have this nice two-tone, which gives a little bit of contrast to the, to the handles. You have these like indented dots pattern all around these scales, which is nice. I mean, it's the same along the Free series, and it's a nice thing. Like they did, a matching look across the line, across the Free line. So interesting. Regarding the chamfering, you see, like, it's not like really rounded off, like for example, you have in the Wave, like on the inside, because, right here it's more chamfered and the inside it's the same. So, like here it's less rounded off than the Wave, and outside I would say a tiny bit more than that. So, something to keep in mind. There's basically no jimping around, so not really like anything to create some friction, some traction to your grip. It's pretty sleek looking, You have your springs over here, which are protruding, and that's for a reason, because since this is like designed, intended, to be operated with one hand, you have this tabs to pull out these tools, and then this is going to be the lock to release the blade and unlock the tool. So it has to be protruding, and it's rounded off nicely, I would say. It's not like too sharp, but it's sticking out, as you can see right here and right here. The screw size is a T8, and it's not like a safety bit, like for example you have over here in the Wave. So in the Wave you need a bit with a hole on the inside, like this one, all right? But which is still a T8. But for the P2, you just need like a regular T8 bit, like this guy. So interesting improvement over the old line. Screws are also like with a nice steel matte finish, a little bit protruding, I would say, not too, hideous, but still like sticking out. The ease, I'm not going to disassemble this guy because it's not going to be like super easy, but it's doable, 100%. Next, we have like a nice pocket clip. This is like a true deep carry pocket clip. I would say a little bit less deep than the Wave. All right, so the Wave is going to sit deeper in your pocket, but this is nicely done. It has like a built-in lanyard hole, you see on in the clip, and it's nicely polished. It's sporting like the new Leatherman logo, which is nice, like a multi-tool open, very, very cool. It has like a nice, clip ramp over here, which is lower than the let's say the inside over here. And overall has a pretty good springy action, so it's gonna be snapped into your pocket. So that's a very nice design. You also have like a lanyard option, so you can remove this guy and just put like a smaller, just with a lanyard hole sticking out accessory onto this one. It's not reversible, and it's tip-up carry only. So it's pretty good. You have, if you open the blade, the multi-tool, like you access the first tool, the main, I would say, which is this blade over here. This is like a 2.76 inches blade, or like 7 centimeters. And it's made out of 420 HC steel, which is a high carbon steel. As you can notice, the flats are stone washed right here, and the main grind, the grind is it has like a directional satin look, and so it's nice. This is a combo blade, like serrated edge and plain edge with a dual tone finish. So they put quite some work into this one. The stock thickness is relatively thin with a pretty thin point. So interesting. This is like a sheep foot serrated combo blade, which I'm not really a fan of serrations in the blade, but I guess this is like a trade-off, because you're losing two tools basically compared to the Wave, because the Wave has on the outside also this fully serrated blade, as well as a full plain one, and sorry, this is the Surge, but I mean the same thing, same concept. So you have a saw, you have 4 on the outside. This guy, every tool is on the outside. So they had to go with the combo blade over here to give you a little bit more options, right? You have also like a little sharpening choil right over here, and this is gonna be useful when you're gonna want to bring back to life this blade over here. The plunge grind is this one, and it's just like perpendicular, to the edge. So nice and interesting choice. The edge and the edge symmetry, it's pretty spot on. Look at that. It's nicely machined. The grind symmetry also, it's pretty good, It's this line gets to the same height on both sides, and it's well made. There's no jimping on the blade, so you're gonna have just to, if you wanna use like in a more advanced position, you're gonna have just to do like this, because there's also no like thumb ramp. But you have your spine, which is crowned, like here, you see it's like chamfered and goes down, kind of like to create a swedge kind of thing. But there's no fuller, just like a thumb hole, which has been chamfered only on the upper part, not on the lower part, which makes sense, because anyways, you're going to be deploying this like pushing outward. So the sharp part will be in contact with your thumb, is going to be this guy, like, because you're going to push this way. So yeah, it makes sense, but they could have done maybe a little bit more rounded off thumb hole over here. Also something to notice, just like minimal billboarding on the blade, just Leatherman USA right over here. And yeah, like it's an overall nice blade. Next to the blade, you have, you know, other tools. So, and the cool thing about this multi-tool is that like on this side, you can deploy the tools by pushing down this tab over here. So one-handed, you just push down this, you see, but only these two guys are gonna come up. Blade is not coming up, which is a clever design. If you wanna deploy the blade, you're just gonna have to use the thumb hole, all right? And it's gonna require much more force than these two guys. So, which is good, because you know that the blade is like here because it's sticking out, you see, from the profile. So even if you're not looking, not watching at the tool, you know that the blade is here because you feel it, and then boom, you know, it's gonna be deployable with your thumb. If you wanna access the tools, you just push this like here, and the blade is gonna stay in place. So then you just, you know, you fan them out and you pick the tool you desire, you need. So next to the blade, you have your pry bar tool, which has a pretty thick stock, and also, you know, has like a medium flat screwdriver right over here with a package opener onto this side, because this is quite sharp. When you want to release the tool, like unlock the tool and put it back, you just push down here, and this is just gonna go back into the closed position. Right next to that, you've got your Phillips screwdriver with the bottle opener built in right over here, and again, pretty thick stock. So you're gonna be able to, you know, like apply some serious torque force right over there. And this side is done. Next side, you have the same concept. So if I push this side down, I'm gonna have only these four tools coming up. Right here you have the scissors, but they don't come up. You see, you have to do like this. You have to, you know, use your thumb to deploy the scissors, which is another good thing, because you know, it makes sense, like to deploy just this, just the scissors by themselves, not together with this guy. Whereas these guys are shorter, and you can just, you know, like fan them out and see, yeah, okay, I'm gonna need this guy. So let's see what we have on this side. So we have like a can opener right over here, very interesting, sharp side, not the thickest stock of them all, but yeah, it's gonna get the job done. And right next to that, you have a nice owl with a pretty small flathead screwdriver, sharp side over right here. Next to that, you have the ruler, which is like you know, inches on the bottom, centimeters on the top. It's pretty short. It's gonna be useful just to, you know, measure like small things. And then you have like over here like this line cutter, you know, can be also like a strip wires, I guess, and like built onto this tool. Stock thickness is, you know, pretty thin, but I mean, the task intended for this tool are not like heavy duty, so it's good to go. And lastly, on this set of four, you're gonna have your wood and metal file, pretty short compared to the wave, but still it's functional, you know. And you have at the top, you see like a little bit of bevel with your again like another small flathead screwdriver. And right next to that, you got the scissors, which are pretty nice. That's a pretty big improvement over the wave, and they're springy, you know. And also something interesting is that, you know, like when you deploy the blade, the scissors, and you fully open, you see, when this side releases, it allows this spring to come up and to lock the scissors in place. You see, look at this. If you keep this down, like here, and it's like this side is not open, there's no lock, you see, the scissors are not locking. The moment you release this, look at that, scissors are locked in. So interesting design. So, and also one thing to notice is that you don't have to fold them the other way around to close them like you would have to do in the wave. Like for example, if you open your scissors here, you see they are stored in this position. Then you have to open like this, use them, then you have to bring that back to store them in. Something that is gone in this one, you just open, use, and back. So pretty interesting. Then when you open the tool, you're gonna have, you know, the needle nose plier with replaceable hard wire cutter, and you're gonna have like a crimper right over here, which it's not marked, but it's right over there. You just put the wire and crimp it like this. So these are basically the tools in the Leatherman Free P2. Let's analyze a little bit of the sound, because this guy is making interesting noises. Like the blade is like this. When you deploy, that's the sound you're gonna get. It's very nice. It's louder when you close the blade, and softer, like a little bit. It's more rich when you close the blade, and it has like a nice cluck to it. This is more like a, you know, a clank, and this is like a cluck to me. And it's louder when you close it. When you deploy the other tools, you see it's the same noise, but a little bit higher pitched noise when you close them. So very interesting. And it's a nice click. So it's pleasant to the ear, because, you know, it's not that sharp, it's not loud, but it's nice, it's mellow, it's soft and very rich, I would say. It's solid. This is almost inaudible, like for example this guy, you see, very muffled sound for this one, and the scissors are pretty much inaudible. You see, it's like a strange, very loud on the closing position, but on the opening position, not at all. So there you have it. Let's analyze a little bit of the feeling when you hold this guy, because this is a work tool. So the feeling, you know, ergonomic are going to be pretty important, because this is like weighting in at 7.6 ounces or like 215 grams. So when you use this, when you use the blade, all right, you're gonna hold the tool like this, and you're gonna have some hot spots over here, because this is, again, not rounded, but it's a little bit sharp. Okay, so you're gonna feel something over here, and also like the pocket clip right in the back is gonna be digging a little bit right over here in the palm of your hand. So a little bit of hot spots for the blade. Same goes for these tools, because the grip is going to be the same. The other side, it's a little bit different, because you have the clip on the opposite side, but you're gonna have this side digging in the palm of your hand, because you're gonna be squeezing, especially here. And look at this. Finger just ends up onto this corner over here. So not the best grip ever, but you know, if you wear gloves, and you know you're supposed to, because this is like a work tool, you're gonna be all right. Sorry. Also, when when you use the blade like here, you can also do like a reverse grip, and it's gonna be a little bit more comfortable, but still you're gonna have this sharp side just digging in a little bit. Overall, I mean, the tool feels solid, you know. There's a little bit of blade play, but this is not due to the blade actually playing, even if a little bit, but it's due to the fact that the scales, you know, are like, you see, not attached together. They're just like, you know, attracted with a magnet, and you have only this little tooth right over here going into this hole right over here. This is the magnet, by the way, covered by the plastic. You see, and they make contact, and it's preventing the two handles from crossing their path. So that is why you're gonna feel a little bit of play right over there, but overall it feels pretty solid. You know, when you use the pliers, you're gonna feel less sharp edges. You know, the hot spots are gonna be less if you have like you keep like an upward position like this, and you leave these two sides out. The moment you go down like this, you know, to apply more force, because, you know, of the lever principle, you're gonna be hitting this side over here, which is not fun. I mean, you have these guys like the lock sticking out, sharp corner here, 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 here. I mean, this end is much sharper, let's say, than your wave, that it's rounded off like that. So very, very different design, and I prefer the wave for this ergo area at the end of the handle. So keep that in mind. If you check like the fit and finish, it's pretty good, I have to say. It's honestly, it's impressive. For the price you pay for this guy, they were able to cram in pretty decent amount of tools. And I mean, look at this. There's not really any gaps except for this one, a little bit to the side, but over here it's pretty nicely built. It's well put together. I mean, the clip is good. It feels solid in the hand. There's a little bit of blade play, but overall the fit and finish it's pretty well done, I have to say. The deployment speed of the blade, it's like this, so it's not like the fastest ever, but I mean, this is a multi-tool. It's not like a tactical knife that you need to deploy instantly, right? So even if it's one hand, you can operate this with one hand, it's going to be relatively slow because of the mechanism employed over here. You're going to have a little bit of finger sore because you have to dig in, like to jam your thumb, like, and push and just do this and rotate. So as you rotate, you see, your thumb will not change position, right? So you're gonna have the blade changing position, and it's gonna, dig in your tip a little bit. So keep that also in mind. The detent here is like it's a magnetic detent, so it's an interesting thing. Keep that in mind also, because if you're gonna toss this in some dirt or like in a toolbox, which will have most likely some metal little parts like metal dust, it might get stuck here, so you might need to do a little bit of more maintenance to this guy. Also, like the tip of the blade, it's pretty dipped down, it's pretty buried down, sorry, right there, so there's not going to be any issue or risk for you to touch the blade. And if you shake the tool, it doesn't really rattle. If you hold one handle, yes, of course. If you hold two handles, just minimal, because of this contact point right over here. Okay, the feeling, when you open this one, it's very interesting. So you have this sound, of course, which is like transformer kind of sound. So clack clack. It's very interesting. I appreciate very much this noise and the feel. When you keep this handle like in your hand, it feels good. As the moment you open this one, it feels like really loose. Like see, there's like almost no friction. Looks like this is running on bearings, but it's not. But it's very, very freely moving, and you have to just close the handles like this, and it snaps in place like that, like a boss, with this pretty nice sound, which I appreciate a lot. And then you're gonna have your pliers, and it's gonna be quite solid, and quite solid feel. So overall, it's pretty easy to operate, yeah, it's an overall nice tool. So I'm happy they improved the line. They lost some things to the wave, which I probably still prefer, but we're gonna do like a comparison soon between the two guys. So yeah, so there you have it. So this was my review of the Leatherman Free P2. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned.